latest spin-off series of The Walking Dead has finally premiered. In order to prevent the burning zombies from destroying crops, Rick, as a Reaper, is released like a kite. At this point, Rick has already planned to escape, so he resorted to chopping off his own left hand. Only by doing so could he break free from the constraints of the CRM organization. In order to stop the bleeding, Rick had to stick his severed limb into the burning bodies of the zombies, using the high temperature to cauterize the wound. However, even after paying such a price, Rick still couldn't escape. With a gunshot, he was hit by a stun gun and fell unconscious. The former Rick once detonated a bomb with a death wish, but reality once again spared him. After regaining consciousness, Rick is taken by the CRM organization to a secretive autonomous city. To prevent leakage of city intelligence, the military does not allow anyone to leave. According to the city's rules, the rescued people are called Reapers, and they can only work outside the suburbs in exchange for energy and food. Rick, as a Reaper, just wants to leave and return to Michonne. Due to his previous escape attempts, the military deliberately put handcuffs on him, but this still couldn't change Rick's determination to escape. Regrettably, even after losing his left hand, he still failed. This outcome makes Rick feel resentful, so he can only vent his frustration by killing zombies continuously. The military did not punish Rick, as a man named Okafu pleaded for him, valuing Rick greatly and always hoping he would join his team. After relentless ideological struggles, Rick finally makes concessions and becomes a member of the military, equipped with prosthetics, and turns a new page. After more than a year of training, Okafu finally reveals his purpose to Rick and Sun. Both Sun and Rick, as rebellious Reapers, have harbored thoughts of killing. This is why he values them. He wants to groom them into leadership figures within the military, believing that if presented with an opportunity to save the world, Rick and Sun would make the right choice. However, even after joining the military, Rick still hasn't given up on the idea of escaping, but Sun helps him see the reality. In her view, no matter where Rick escapes to, Okafu will find him. Rick's escape will only bring disaster to his loved ones. By the way, if you enjoy our movie recaps, we're currently hosting a giveaway for our audience. We're excited to announce that a brand new scooter awaits one lucky subscriber. Don't miss out. Subscribe and follow us to stay tuned for more updates. Reluctantly, Rick holds a knife to Okafu's neck. Okafu knows everything about Rick's past deeds, even mentioning Michonne's name and advising Rick not to do anything foolish. But Rick is desperate to leave. This city is not his, and he has no family here. His wife and daughter are everything to him. He doesn't want others making choices for him. This completely infuriates Okafu. In order to save more people, he destroys city after city, even killing his own wife and over 4,000 people. Now he has nothing left. Rick still hopes Okafu will let him go, and if not, he'll kill him. But Okafu doesn't choose either option. He still values Rick and wants him to climb to the heights of power, step by step. From the moment Rick joined the military, he had no choice. Meanwhile, news arrives of the destruction of Omaha City, leaving only 2 survivor cities. This further strengthens the resolve to keep secrets. Only by keeping the city's secrets hidden can safety be ensured. That night, Rick considers ending it all, but ultimately doesn't. He chooses to say goodbye to the past. However, on the day of a mission, a shell directly hits Okafu's body, blasting him to pieces. The helicopter is hit and forced to crash land. The enemy's firepower is fierce, shells raining down one after another, flipping Rick to the ground. He hears movement nearby, and someone rushes in for the kill. One teammate after another dies. When the enemy holds a knife to his neck, Rick is stunned. The person before him is none other than the one he has been longing for all this time. 6 years after the bridge explosion incident, Michonne accidentally discovers that Rick is very likely still alive. Since then, Michonne has embarked on a long journey to find her husband. By chance, Michonne saves a couple migrating through the community. As the leader of the community, Ellie is very grateful to Michonne for saving her sister, Eden, and brother-in-law, Bo. Michonne doesn't need their thanks. She needs a horse. As she prepares to leave, Dwarf Nate rushes in. To thank Michonne for her efforts, Nate promises her a horse on the spot. But when he hears that Michonne's destination is Briggs Dock, Nate becomes reluctant. It's a death trap, a source of zombies 5 miles wide, enough to ensure no return for anyone who steps in. But to repay Michonne, Eden secretly brings her sister's horse. After much persuasion, Nate finally convinces Michonne to stay for a night. The next day, equipped with new armor and weapons, Michonne bids farewell to Nate and the others. No one has high hopes for Michonne's journey, but she and her horse charge into the zombie horde without hesitation. Thanks to the mini grenades given by Nate, Michonne finds some ease. However, what Michonne didn't expect was a burning figure with a gas can moving against the tide of zombies. Suddenly, the burning zombie's head explodes like a shell, knocking him off his horse and attracting the zombies towards Michonne once again. Struggling to stand, Michonne draws her katana, ready for a bloody battle. But at that moment, explosions erupt in the distance on both sides, sending flames into the sky and diverting the zombie horde in 2 directions. Eden and her companion arrive from afar, helped by people from the migrating community. Michonne's arrival and her actions convince Nate and the others not to flee anymore. They decide to help Michonne find Rick. Michonne promises to return home with them once they find Rick, to live a simple life together in a sturdy building. After daybreak, the group rushes towards their destination with both cars and houses. However, while passing through a town, a helicopter suddenly appears overhead and drops poison gas bombs on the people below. Thick smoke envelopes them, limiting visibility. Those poisons slowly turn into zombies. In order to survive, Michonne has to wield her sword. She and Nate's group take refuge in a furniture store. Their conditions are not good. They've all inhaled some poison gas to varying degrees. Eden's condition is the most severe, but even in pain, she still cares about Michonne. She hopes Michonne won't take any more risks, but return to her children. However, at this point, Michonne can't turn back. The virus is relentless, and everyone, including Michonne, struggles to breathe. Enduring the pain, Michonne instructs Bailey to tie up Eden and warns her not to get too close. Then, Michonne heads to the medical plaza to bring back oxygen tanks for everyone. Unfortunately, when she returns, Eden has turned into a zombie, and Bailey hasn't survived either. Michonne ends up having to kill 2 of her close friends. Only Michonne herself can understand the pain she feels. Nate expresses his gratitude to Michonne. Although he wants to send off his friends, he can't bring himself to do it. Nate once again tries to persuade Michonne to turn back. It's been too long. Rick might not even be alive anymore. In this accident, only Michonne and Nate stop. With the inhalation of oxygen, their conditions stabilize. But the poison gas has damaged their lungs and throats. Michonne has to stop and recuperate. After a long period of recuperation, the 2 gradually regain their strength. Michonne entrusts the location of Alexandria to Nate, not wanting him to risk his life with her anymore, especially not wanting to see him end up like Eden and Bailey. But Nate refuses to agree. Now, not only does he want to help Michonne find Rick, but he also wants to seek revenge for their deceased friends. They hit the road again and finally arrive at Briggs Dock. Michonne searches for Rick's whereabouts but only finds the wreckage of a massive ship surrounded by piles of rocks. She struggles to convince herself to believe that Rick is still alive, but at this moment, Michonne truly feels despair. Nate brings out the walkie-talkie, reminding Michonne that going home to her children is her last hope for survival. Ending their search for Rick, the 2 embark on the journey home. Just as Michonne prepares to find a place to rest, Nate spots a helicopter in the distance, its flames of vengeance rising. At this moment, neither of them intends to flee. Nate takes position, launching a small grenade into the air. After a while without an explosion, it's assumed to be a dud, but in reality, it has entered Okafu's body. Several more grenades are launched, hitting the helicopter and causing it to crash into the dense forest below. Seeing the residual flames, Michonne dons her helmet and charges forward. She wants to avenge their fallen friends, but she never expected that the enemy under her blade would turn out to be the person she had been searching for all along. The 2 stare at each other in disbelief, then embrace each other in tears of joy. This moment has been long awaited for both them and us. However, the time left for them to be together is limited. Rick has realized that people from the CRM are heading their way. Michonne wants to escape immediately, but Rick knows they can't run away like this. He asks Michonne to follow him back and promises to take her away with him. Nate arrives at this moment, looking very puzzled at the two, but suddenly gunshots ring out. Bullets pierce through Nate's body instantly. Rick and Michonne immediately take action, with Rick going to finish off the attacker, while Michonne rushes to Nate's side. Nate passes away relatively peacefully, at least knowing that Rick is still Michonne's. Rick hasn't changed, so he can finally die in peace. Ignoring Michonne's sadness, Rick asks her if she has anything related to him or Alexandria on her. Michonne hands over the journal and the walkie-talkie to Rick for safekeeping, while Rick places the katana in Nate's hand. Everything needs to be set up for Nate to be the one who killed the surrounding people, and Michonne must be the one to stop him. Rick instructs Michonne on everything he can think of and tells her to raise her hands and stay in place without moving. He also reminds Michonne not to call those things zombies, but to use a different term. Whatever happens, Rick must ensure that Michonne survives. As they watch the helicopter slowly descend, Michonne's eyes are filled with compassion and a hint of amusement. Following Rick's instructions, Michonne adopts another identity for herself. Now she goes by the name Dana, a former community leader ousted by her sister Ellie. This enables her to smoothly pass interrogation. Rick soon discreetly approaches Michonne, and the two embrace once again, celebrating their reunion. Rick's reunion with Michonne reignites his long-dead resolution. This time, nobody can stop their determination to leave. Rick gives Michonne a lighter for them to communicate through notes in the future, ensuring that they burn the messages after a read. However, Michonne hasn't forgotten about seeking revenge. For Nate and the others, she wants to stop the atrocities of the CRM organization, but Rick gives her a negative response. Despite feeling sorry for what the CRM organization has done, they truly are powerless against them. With Michonne's personality, it's clear she won't just sit idly by. Standing atop a high place, gazing at the vast military compound before her, Michonne shows no fear in her eyes. Meanwhile, Rick is visited by an unexpected guest, Jadis. She comes to give Rick a warning. Nobody knows better than her about Rick and Michonne's relationship, but she promises to keep their secret. However, she hopes Rick won't try to escape with Michonne. Her hands are already stained with enough blood. A little more won't matter. She believes Rick can make the right choice.